The rumor has it that Russia has been losing sleep ever since a squadron from Mountain Home Air Force Base in Idaho tested its first ever small-diameter military tech, the mighty GBU-53B Stormbreaker. After year-long delays, the small-diameter bomb has finally paved its way in the United States Air Force. Stormbreaker might have just become America's unique selling point for its NATO allies, a much-needed combination of target efficiency and cost-effectiveness. And unsurprisingly, Russia isn't happy. Guided bomb units, also known as GBU or smart bombs, curate the modernization of precision-guided armaments of many countries, including the United States, Russia, Israel, Germany, and so on. After the successful collaboration of the United States Air Force and Navy on the Joint Direct Attack Munition to turn any unguided bomb into a smart bomb, it was given that GBU would be integrated into the newest military tech. And Raytheon didn't disappoint the defense circles with the specifications of Stormbreaker. The GBU-53B is an outstanding addition to USAF's ammunition that is particularly designed to cut through Russian aerial bombing systems, including its own GBU tech installed in KAB-500 aviation bombs. Stormbreaker has found its permanent home in F-15E Strike Eagle jets, the crown jewels of USAF's long-range and high-speed interdiction multi-role strike fighters. Raytheon has kept the United States Air Force on its multi-million-dollar payroll for a while now. With its unique specifications of Stormbreaker that also meet the target of cost-effectiveness, it is no-brainer that the plans to dismantle Russia's aerial bombing supremacy are faring well. The Stormbreaker, previously known as SDB-2, carries a tri-mode seeker that flaunts a millimeter wave radar, an infrared imaging capability, a semi-active laser, GPS, and an inertial navigation system. When the United States of America launched a strategic attack against ISIS, the need for an all-weather tactical weapon became one of the most sought-out technologies of modern warfare. Air Force's fascination with all-weather armaments is not exactly surprising. As the military threats have become far more asymmetrical, the weather conditions of targeted areas are hardly under the Air Force's radar. There's no doubt that high military sophistication means that USAF has some solid intel on weather conditions. But with focal issues like climate change, the efficacy of long-range weaponry is also a matter of visibility. The weapon manufacturers at Raytheon are well aware of recurring factors such as the unpredictability of weather and the visibility issues it causes. The 53B Stormbreaker is an all-weather weapon and specifically counters the weaponization of bad weather that allows targets to escape. Stormbreaker's winged ammunition detects moving and stationary targets even in the worst conditions. So, if the visibility of the mapped area is severely affected, Stormbreaker will still do its job. It cuts through dust storms, darkness, smoke, or dust kicked by helicopters to give the warfighters a crystal clear view of their targets and their classification. Obscurance on the battlefield are centuries-old war tactics that date back to Sun Tzu's The Art of War. There are numerous anecdotes of adversaries finding escape routes even in complete darkness. After all, with missions like the ones in the deserts of eastern Syria, ISIS adversaries knew the locality at the back of their hands. It's safe to assume that the United States Air Force is very fond of the eagle-eye vision that their fighter pilots now have, thanks to Raytheon's obsession with perfecting aerial bombing systems and smart bombs. Working through bad weather conditions isn't the only thing Raytheon was mindful of. Another complexity of the Stormbreaker that has left Russia all agitated is the standoff range of this GBU-53. What could have made the US defense fanatics really excited for the Stormbreaker? You are spot on if your mind is running in circles around Stormbreaker's potential long range to dismantle the moving targets. Keep in mind that Russia would starve its citizens if that is the cost to create or buy long-range aerial bombs to target mobilized subjects. and the Russian Defense Ministry isn't ever shy about notifying the world of its military sophistication. If anything, Russia has always wanted the gold medal in every surge of the arms race ever. In their recent attacks on Ukrainian territory, the Russian military was caught using the thermobaric and vacuum bombs, which are far from conventional warfare. So, with the increased hybridity in warfare, you might even credit Raytheon for adorning Stormbreaker with some lethal long ranges to target moving military ammunition such as tanks. Now, when it comes to a long-range military defense system, Russia would be the master of modern warfare. Since it is very hard to find an estimate of Russia's nuclear and non-nuclear weaponry, we can't exactly pin the stats on its aerial bombing systems. But history speaks louder than words. The Soviet Union had a knack for acquiring air bases and making strides in the field of precision-centered airstrikers. Soviet Union's Beta B-500 and KA-B-500L and the FA-B-500 are just a few examples of sophisticated warhead explosive aerial bombing during the Cold War. After the collapse of the USSR, NPO Basalt took over Russia's production of weapons. The company has some deadly missile systems, including the long-range PBK-500U Drul. Russia's S-400 Triumph, as created by Almaz-Antey, has a deadly range of 400 kilometers. So, why is Russia panicking over Stormbreaker's range of 110 kilometers? The most straightforward conclusion to the million-dollar question is Stormbreaker's 70 kilometers range to dismantle a moving target. And that one characteristic makes Stormbreaker a league of its own. With such trailblazing and revolutionary parameters, any air missile system doesn't need to enter the enemy's territory. That's one feat that even the Russian S-400 desperately longs for, despite being one of the world's most potent and active aerial target engagement systems. Looks like Almaz-Antey hasn't successfully copied Raytheon's three-tier target system that simultaneously employs millimeter-wave radar detection, infrared imaging, and semi-active laser. This three-tier attack system can also work simultaneously to exchange information on the target's parameters that could be either stationary or moving. Its inbuilt high-precision GPS-coupled inertial guidance system is highly sensitized to the mobilized targets, and its radar provides on-point coordinates even in midair. Another key component of Stormbreaker is its small size, which only amounts to 204 pounds. It is 69 inches long with a 7-inch diameter. Such small yet power-backed specs would increase F-15E's efficiency in simultaneously striking multiple ground targets. In doing so, Raytheon has achieved something revolutionary in the truest fashion of U.S. military history. Believe it or not, the GBU-53B Stormbreaker fulfills many parameters of cost-benefit analysis. In other words, the price of manufacturing and testing the Stormbreaker isn't daunting compared to the utility it produces after a successful target engagement. The process of putting a price tag on the importance of a successful aerial bombing isn't easy. But with Stormbreaker, the United States Air Force isn't going to spend millions only to get rid of the enemy military tank. The unit cost of the Stormbreaker is estimated to be $195,000 US. Stormbreaker can be launched from one place and controlled from another at this given price. So, when you are in the United States of America and own more than 800 foreign military bases, such sophisticated coordination is bound to come in handy. As of now, the United States Air Force can't get enough of this impressive military unit. The statistics show that Raytheon is in the process of building more than 17,000 units of the GBU-53B Stormbreaker. After successful testing in Idaho and Utah, USAF has given Raytheon another whopping contract of $250 million US, bringing the SDB-2 project to a total cost of $700 million US. And with the colossal threat it poses to Russia and its never-ending obsession with aerial bombing systems, money will keep coming in for Raytheon. Long story short, Russia has everything to be worried about. especially after bringing Europe to the brink of another global warfare. After all, the devil works hard, but NATO allies work harder. The newest outlook of defense systems is extremely competitive and challenging for the United States of America. With the rising global demand to cut military expenditure and abide by international peace treaties, many hyper-militarized countries face a dilemma. After some catastrophic military actions in Ukraine, the threat of an aggravated arms race is not shocking. In fact, as two military superpowers in Asia are thriving, it is fairly obvious that the United States of America will do anything in its power to lead the arms race. The whole world might be watching the United States, but the NATO allies are fixated on increasing their ammunition and beating Russia in military tech sophistication. A threat of a hot world war is knocking again on Europe's door, and the United States of America is set to become the most terrifying gatekeeper for the Russian forces. Principally speaking, NATO optimizes its alliance based on shared military ventures and breakthroughs. In fact, after the recent Russian aggravation in Ukraine, the NATO weaponry front is stronger than ever. Much to Russian dismay, Raytheon's GBU-53B Stormbreaker is already in the process of leaving U.S. territory to join hands with some powerful NATO countries. After the UK-US alliance on nuclear submarines, the USA, UK, and Australia became the dynamic trio that could bully anyone for their amusement. Of course, Russia was having none of it. But with a technology that has proven to be the best in taking care of mobilized targets, NATO countries, including Germany, South Korea, Israel, and Australia, can hardly heed whatever Russia wants.